MK Pulse proudly sponsors Seclo Sounds. MK Pulse is Milton Keynes' local magazine, bringing helpful information on food, health, fashion, money, travel, culture, and much more to 66,000 readers every month. Plus news, views, and what's on from around the city. If it's happening in Milton Keynes, it's in MK Pulse, and it's available online at www.mkpulse.co.uk. MK Pulse and Seclo Sounds, the heart and soul of the city.
Bringing people and communities together on seclosounds.org.
Your listening station.
Hello, I'm Mike Barry.
And I'm Bob Bluffield.
And together with Alan Mallyon, we bring you The Grumpy Old Men on Saturday morning between 8 and 10. We take a look back at what's been happening during the week and
Let's just say, discuss it. Oh yes, we do play some good music as well. That's all here every Saturday morning between 8 and 10 on Seclo Sounds.
Something's gotten hold of my heart, keeping my soul and my senses apart. Something's gotten into my life, cutting its way through my dreams like a knife, turning me up, turning me down, making me smile and making me in a world that was small. I once lived in a time that was peace with no trouble at all. But then you came my way, and a feeling unknown shook my heart, made me want you to stay. All of my nights and all of my days. Yeah, I gotta tell you now, something's gotten hold of my hand, dragging my soul to a beautiful land. Now something has invaded my night, painting my sleep with the colors so bright, changing the gray, changing the blue, scarlet for me and scarlet for you. I've got to know if this is the real thing. I've got to know what's making my heart sing. Oh, yeah. You smile and I am lost for a lifetime. Each minute spent with you is the right time. Every hour, yeah, every day, yeah. You touch me and my mind goes astray. And something got a hold of my hand, dragging my soul to a beautiful land. Yeah, something has invaded my night.
That's Gene Pitney and Mark Ormond, of course, here on Secular Sounds Community Radio for Milton Keynes. A very warm welcome to the Grumpy Old Men on a Saturday morning. I'm Mike Barry,
I'm Bob Bluffield.
I'm Brian White.
I'm Alan Mallyon.
and together we are, of course,
The grumpy old men.
Yes, I know. Oh, what a laugh we get here on a Saturday morning. But I think we really want to kick off with this terrible scandal that Brian has uncovered. Brian.
Come on.
Well, it's not me.
Oh, it's not you, sorry.
It's a Telegraph.
Yeah?
And the headline is, "Why aren't the middle classes staging a revolution?" Now, if I'd said something like, people who sold the phones and Phones for You are now unemployed, some of their employees have lost their jobs. It's a classic example of people who come in, take over a business, asset strip it,
Yeah.
and nothing about gutting the business. You'd accuse me of being class war.
Yep.
But this is the Telegraph saying this, and saying that people in middle classes are losing their jobs. And it's about time they got on the streets and started to complain about the kind of jobs that we're creating in this society.
But that will never happen, will it? Because we're too staid, aren't we? We're too British.
Well, what they say is that we're sick of the left, tired of the powerful unions, but we're not actually yet ready to defend ourselves.
I mean, the same could apply for petrol, for instance. When the petrol prices go up or the petrol prices don't come down, when we know that the companies are paying less for crude oil and that, we've got the power in our own hands, haven't we? Because if, let's take it that it's ABC Limited who are selling the petrol, if everybody said, right, we are not going to go into an ABC Limited petrol station for the next week, something would have to happen, wouldn't it? I mean, we could do the same with Tesco's, couldn't we? If Tesco, Sainsbury's or other supermarkets.
We're not united enough, are we?
I think people are too complacent, aren't they?
Yeah, they do it in France, wouldn't they? Mange
Bonjour. Bonjour to our French listeners this morning, yes?
Yes.
Karen and Andy over there in France.
The reason that the Telegraph say is that it hasn't got bad enough yet.
Isn't it?
That's what they're saying.
But no disrespect to the Telegraph, but I mean, even when it gets bad, what are we going to do? We're not going to do anything about it, are we?
Well, we've got plenty of entertaining distractions, haven't we?
Well, of course we
Grumpy
have,
old men on a Saturday morning.
Grumpy old men on a Saturday morning, yeah.
Question time, I suppose, on a Thursday.
What do we think about this thing about, I mean, old Cameron, yes, he did gaff, didn't he? I mean, when he whispered to this bloke that the Queen purred down the phone. It's a lovely expression, and I think that she probably did, actually, if the truth was known, because she's only human. She's only human, and I'm sure she didn't want to lose Scotland any more than we wanted to lose Scotland. But
I don't think we've seen the end of this, though. They're saying now they're going to carry on fighting, aren't they?
But the Scots.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
all these conspiracy theories. There was one classic one, and most of the people who've been to counts know that the way it works is that all the votes are counted up, not split out, just to check that the totals are right. And they put all these votes on the no table, all mixed up, and it appeared on Facebook, showing no and yes together as a conspiracy that the yes votes were put into the no votes, rather than actually waiting for the second stage of the count, which is that you split it out into the yes and no, or in most elections, into the individual candidates. And that's now become a big conspiracy theory on the internet, and as a result, they said the vote's invalid. Well, that's crazy.
It had to come, didn't it? It had to come, though, didn't it?
The people that were the separatists, I think I call them, they just, they're extremists, Scottish extremists.
Do you think we're going to get a level of extremism in Scotland? I think we are. I think we're going to get some rioting and things like that.
I don't think we will.
No, I don't think we get rioting. I think you get individuals.
The Scottish Nationalist Party
that are just so hell bent on trying to get their way. They will do anything. They will put out propaganda. Because shock horror, yeah.
They'll go to the Daily Mail.
They will write letters to the Times.
Oh well.
Do you think so?
Oh,
can you see
those
They
extremists?
might already have some in here this morning.
And do you know that they'll even insist on having haggis, right, on trains in Scotland?
Well,
There's a
think
guy
good idea.
There's a guy in the next estate in Tinkers Bridge has actually set up a branch of the Scottish National Party to campaign for English independence.
Well, that's
Well,
good.
that's quite right.
We could, yes, there's a twist in that one, isn't there? Yeah, that's just daft, isn't it?
He says he wants the English to scrap the union.
Well, they're saying that the parties are not going to honour the agreement now and give them the
Of course they
devolution they won't.
Of course they won't.
Well, they've got to, surely.
Well, they've got to.
Why have they got to? They can delay it and delay it and delay it.
Why wasn't...
I mean, salmon's gone out to spawn, so...
Was it along with sturgeon and her caviar?
She's
I was
lovely.
really surprised that salmon threw in the towel.
I'm not.
No?
No. He's Salmon wanted independence from Scotland because he wanted to be salmon. You know, he wanted to call it. He was going to rename it actually.
The Salmon the party.
Yeah, no. It would have been Salmonland. You know, it wouldn't have been Scotland anymore.
Yeah, what's it called? What's it? Tins of salmon you get? What's it called? John
West.
John West. Yeah.
Right, there are other mates.
That would have been renamed, of course. You know,
Salmon.
Yeah, salmon McTavish. Salmon.
The point I made actually to start this little conversation going was the fact of poor old Cameron having to go and apologise to the Queen the next time he sees her. You know, I'm sure that she's going to have a little smile on her face, isn't she? What is she going to?
Nothing of it, David.
What is she going to do? Yeah, you know, put him in the corner and say, "No, stand over there for 10 minutes and don't speak to me."
I imagine that she probably would actually, and she'll make him wear a funny hat.
Ah, okay, fine.
And his Order of the Garter will become an Order of the Sock.
Okay.
Or the suspender.
I think we better move on a minute before we get the Tower of London people coming down and marching Alan Mallyon, our researcher, off to the dungeons.
Does anybody care what she says? I mean, will she say anything? I don't think she will.
Of course she will. He's going to apologise to her. She'll accept it. You know.
She'll probably laugh.
But yes.
What's more frightening is the way that something like Prince Charles regularly abuses the system and writes to ministers, but we're not allowed to know what he says, and he actually influences what ministers do.
You're not allowed to know what he says?
Well, not under freedom of information, you're not, because it's the... and that's what's wrong. And it's that kind of abuse by the royal family. The Queen doesn't do it, but if Charlie Boy becomes king, then I fear for our...
Fun, isn't it?
And the... Republicans out there are going to use that.
Yes. Yeah,
and I think that I'm not sure this country will survive a Charles monarchy.
Well, the thing is, I mean, he takes after his father, doesn't he? Because, I mean, I'm surprised, really, that old Philip's been pretty quiet. You know, they've probably kept him quiet over these...
Well, he's probably not very well now. He's getting on a bit, isn't he?
Well, he is, you know, but... I mean, I think that's the fortunate thing, really, that if Charles does come to power... Well, when Charles comes to power, because obviously he will, but hopefully it won't be for that long, really, you know. So, but it could be 30, 40 years, I suppose, couldn't it, you know? I didn't mean it in that respect, you know. Heavens above, I tell you what, we're going to get the beef eaters down here.
So Mike's planning his revolution already.
Yeah, we get the thing, but
we're going to have a revolution, haven't we? It's coming.
He's been reading the Telegraph too much.
I do read. My mother, bless her, gets the Telegraph every Saturday. You know,
Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah, and it's a great big thick thing, and she only looks at the headlines and then gives me the rest of the paper. You know, so keeps me going for the rest of the week. Anyway, the poor old Queen. Talking about embarrassments, though, I mean, we've got to have it, haven't we? Because Mr. Miliband, you know, gets up there, speaks for an hour and how many minutes, you know, and then
without notes,
and forgets without notes, which I think is absolutely brilliant. You know, it's a really clever way of doing it, and I know that Brian will back me up on this one because as in a mayoral role in anywhere, but certainly here in Milton Keynes, you have to make many speeches, you know, and. A lot of times, I mean, I don't know about you, Brian, but I, in fact, only ever wrote one speech in my time. But
I think I did one as well, and that was the opening of the Rose.
Yeah, I had to do it.
You had a speechwriter, did you?
No.
You do it yourself.
I, in fact, I never wrote. The only one that I ever wrote, I had to go to Buckingham Palace to be vetted before, because it was when the Queen came to Milton Keynes. But I did another one as well, because I actually wrote one for the Korean ambassador was coming to Milton Keynes, and I wrote a welcome speech. In English, and got onto Google and got them to translate it into Korean, and I did make them laugh because I read this thing out, and I'm sure that I got my pronunciations wrong and everything else, but they enjoyed it, you know. So, and I'm not welcome in Korea anymore.
But I hope you're meaning South Korea.
But what about What about Mr. Miliband? You know, because I mean, it was two really important points, wasn't it, that he sort of forgot about.
The problem is not so much whether he made those in, because you change your speeches as you do.
Yeah.
It's that the press people gave out a written speech, which included those bits, when they should have actually taken it out? Because it always says when they hand out to
now, I've been paddling over this for the 2 days before we
But
came
they
into
always
the
say
studio.
check against delivery.
Yeah. And I thought to myself, I wonder how Brian is going to answer this question. And now he's very, very cleverly, politically answered that, because diplomatically answered it, because he's saying this wasn't Milliband's